Amen.
Lord, feed us, Jesus.
You know, I was thinking down doing it. This has been on my mind for a while. This is not. I'm going to touch on a prophet here in a little while. Got my love notes here. But through the news and different things, you know, we preached on faith, and I was talking earlier about that, and it's been on my mind quite a bit. I don't know of anybody. Now, I'm not talking about Jesus' day, but Lazarus, you know, the late different ones back in Bible time. But I don't know of anybody that has raised up a dead that's been in their coffin like 5 days. Not here saying what, you know, I've never heard, I've never seen it. It happened, but the Bible says it will. In time. In His time.
Bless Him, Lord.
And you know, we talk about faith. As much as a grain of mustard seed, we can ask this tree be removed, you know, into the sea or whatever. And what I'm dwelling on, and this is something for you to think about, that's a nice part of what I did the message. It's been on my mind because I'm kind of going through this stuff. And I have before, and I'm sure you have. Why isn't it happening today? Could we contain such faith? Think about it back in Bible times. Now, Jesus had moved to the side of the water. They was overwhelming Him, and they didn't have people like they got today, as far as population-wise. You imagine if a godly man went in and raised somebody from the dead, what would happen to him with all the millions in the media? What an outpouring of people would be. They'd be mobs getting here. They'd be stealing. They'd be killing. They would be trying to pay him to take care of their loved one, raise them back up. And I thought about those things. Yeah. And then I thought of myself. I said, could I handle that? No, I'm not that smart. I don't have the mentality. I couldn't handle it right now. Not saying I can't before I die. I don't know what tomorrow holds, because now them days are coming. Think about this. Because, you know, we have trouble following orders today. And I done said this to the pastor earlier. Moses had trouble following orders. He didn't make it to the promised land, did he? Because he smoked a rock. What happened to Saul?
Come on.
He couldn't follow orders either.
Amen.
The sheep told on him. And it's kind of hard to get back and put yourself in equal with them. If you think about it, in places we are now. They were great men of God. But these are things to ponder. I wasn't concerned, but this is what's been on my mind. I've been searching it, and it's good to think and pray about things like that. Because I believe in all these things in the last days. It's going to happen. The devil's going to do the same thing. The man in the rug, amen, laid for 3 days, he's going to do it. You touched on it earlier. It kind of stirred me with that. If you ain't got the Holy Ghost, you're not going to stand the mark of the beast. You're going to give in when your kids are starved to death. When they're torturing your family and cutting their fingers off one at a time. I hate to say it in front of the little kid, but it came out already. But that's what's going to happen.
Amen.
Hear me? Can you stand? Come on. You can't do it without. You'll not make it.
Amen.
I had to say that because I've been pondering on that. It kind of got on my mind, you know, about faith and things you've got to go through. And why, if we preach here all the time, we need to get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Work out your own salvation in fear and trembling. That don't say to take another people's religion and their belief. That's the King James Version now. A lot of people are using that today. That's what's happening today.
Come on.
Yeah, come on. The Bible told me work it out however I want. No, it didn't say that. In fear and trembling. What's a fear? In trembling. Make sure you got it right. There's an eternity. Amen. You're going to live somewhere forever. You're going to live somewhere. It's either heaven or hell, and it's your choice. Choose this day who you serve. And their commandments. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit of commandments. I want to talk about a prophet in the Bible. I've never preached on it. I told y'all I'm a young preacher. Couldn't preach it held down where I am. Probably a lot of younger preachers. But I love God's word. Yes. I like to get into it. It stirs me. If you don't, let me tell you what, I don't know any sinner people that read this.
Bless Him, Lord.
Come on.
You can't stay sinner very long.
Amen.
Oh, come on. I don't know any sinner that reads it.
Come on.
I know this day and time a lot of Christians don't either. I understand that.
Amen.
Shame on them.
Amen.
But let me tell you something else. In the Bible, they had woes back then. Terrible things come up on them. We know they was killed, martyred, put in an altar, crucified upside. All kinds of things happened to the prophets back then. But this one prophet, the world had got so bad. Israel had got so evil. And it started with Omri, part of it. His son Ahab. And you know who the prophet is already. Oh, you know who he is already. When God sets out to do something and he gives commandments, it's not multiple choice. A, B, or C, or D, none of the above. When he gives the commandments, You do it, it's either or not.
Amen.
There's one or the other that you got to do. But there was a man called Ahab, and he became king of Israel. And the Bible said that he was the most evil of all of them before him. He was an evil man. He was a worshiper of the devil. Back then, you know, they worshiped idols. And to kind of make a long story short, you know, Elijah, the old Tishbite from out there where that bomb of Gilead came from, the Rockness region. We're talking about him. And had the leather clothes on and bound them up around his loins. He was a different man. And he's also an athletic man. Oh, after Ahab, when he come off the hill of the chariot, I'm getting ahead of myself. I felt too good. I couldn't hold on to the last. But listen here, Elijah was a man of God. He did not question him. And the Lord had him hid out because Ahab and old Jezebel had killed a whole slew of the prophets. She was wanting to get rid of them. You know, she had 400 of her prophets and 400 groves. You know what groves are? Groves are almost, you know what the Indians used to call them, wooden like symbols they had put up for totem poles.
Come on.
Oh boy, Catholic may hear this. What do they have today?
Come on.
Amen. They got a tooth prophet. They got a prophet and a statue about everything. If you go into one of the synagogues, their prophets were over here. For a stomach ailment over there. For congestion over here. I'm saying this in general because that's what they do. They had them too. Idols. And you know they prayed to Mary. Jesus put off in the corner somewhere. And we know all that. But that happened back in Ahab. Back in Elijah's time. They had all these here totem poles. 400 of them. That represented not only was them the physical wood things, they represented the men that was there who prayed over. If that was his totem pole out here and his over the tooth, they had a false prophet there, Jezebels, that done the praying for you. People need to get in that don't understand what it's all about, but the devil was rapid back then as he is now. But anyhow, you know, he told him, he said, listen, it's time you get up and move. Told that to Elijah because he'd hit him out. He'd hit him out. So I told you, you're going to get out and do something now. I've hit you. I'm going to take you down by the brook, down Cherith, right before you get to Jordan. I'm going to take you down there. He said, that brook, there's plenty of water, fresh water for you. And he said, I am going to command. Stick on that word command. I am going to command the ravens to bring you meat. And it was not roadkill. I believe he got it off the king's table. I think he eats sumptuously. What kind of meat? He probably venison, maybe bear meat, cattle, or telling, but he eat good. He didn't say what kind of meat, but with Jesus, I give the benefit of the doubt. It was the best. He don't give second class. You know, women folk are scorned because they are women over the Holy Ghost in a lot of churches. He didn't give the Holy Ghost to you and me and give her half portions. It don't work that way with God. But anyhow, he told him, said, I'm going to take care of you. Oh, and he hid out right there. See, God had a plan. All these things are for a reason. They was all these whole things were headed towards Mount Carmel. Oh, there's going to be a meeting place there, but we're not there yet. Oh, after a while, the creek, because he had prayed, and he had predicted there's going to be a drought in the land. Oh, I'm telling you, the water had dried up. There was very little. Crops didn't grow. And oh, Ahab, guess what he said? He had already searched for Elijah. He couldn't find him nowhere. He sent a man out, a righteous man, I'll tell his name in a minute, who feared God greatly. He sent him out looking for him as well, and they covered all the area. Amen. But guess what? Elijah wasn't done yet. He said, I'm going to send you over to a widow lady. I'm going to send you over there. She's going to be waiting on you. He said, I commanded her to sustain you. After he left the brook, he went over there. And guess what? She was waiting on him at the gate. Oh, when God does something, he don't do it halfway. He done make reservations. He already had him a room and food to spare. Amen. He walked up, and as she was coming out, she was gathering sticks, and he looked at her and said, man, he didn't say, man, about being nice, man, do you have a little water in a vessel? And she turned to go around to go get the water, and he called to her. He said, ma'am, can you make me a little cake? And she said, sir, I've got a little bit of meal, I've got a little little bit of oil in a cruise. She said, I was going to fix this. I was gathering 2 sticks, and me and my son was going to eat and die. He told her, he said, the Lord will sustain you. He said, until the rains come, your barrel won't go empty. Your oil won't dry up. It's going to be there. And you know what? And he had an upper room experience. Oh, they give him the loft to sleep in. Bed that was made for him. And he was right there. God was taking care of him. He was sustaining him.
Yes.
Amen. But you know what? The widow woman's son, her only son, the Bible said he took a sore sickness. You know, his death and his breath fled from him. He died. And the widow said, go get Elijah. Go get Elijah. Elijah showed up. She was kind of scolding him. Did you come here to reveal my sins? Have you dug that back up at my son? Basically, I'm going to paraphrase like this. It's kind of like people saying, what'd you do? Come here and use me to kill my young'un? You don't show no kind of you respected all the men, thankfulness.
Come on.
That's basically what went on. She was disappointed, but she brought up my sins. Let me talk about sins for a minute right there. We're going to stop and talk about that. You know, the Bible speaks of when you're a sinner, you are dead to Him. God, when you repent, it's old-fashioned altar. And by the way, the altar's in you. Everywhere you're at, you're in the altar if you're living right. You can squat behind the commode. You can go outside the hill in the courthouse and kneel down. It don't matter. You carry Him here. But anyhow, she said, what have you done? And he looked, come into her. So where's your son? He took the son. He carried him in. He took him up to the loft, to his own room. Actually, I call it an upper room experience there. I heard some say about a little different. They're talking about, I know they was talking about the mighty rushing wind of Pentecost, but he had an upper room experience. He went up in the loft area there, and he started praying. He prayed 3 times. He laid up on him in his bed, where he had stayed, and the 3rd time he begged God. He said, Lord, this woman has, I'm paraphrasing now, but it's a story, you read it. He said, Lord, this woman has taken care of me. You led me here. Lord, please bring back the soul of him to this woman. It's her only son. And the 3rd time, the Bible said his soul returned to him. He got up and he was alive. And he went out, and the widow woman said, oh, I know you are a prophet and you are a man of God. Oh, she had a learning experience there. She knew who he was then. But you know what? People today says, you know what? God don't bring up your sin. I want to get this out. God does not bring up your sin. He said when you repented, where did he say they went to? Far as the east is from the west. He don't bring them up. I say all the time, you're going to reap what you sow. And you are in the flesh. But that's what you've done. Jesus didn't do that to you. He didn't have you down at the pool hall down there fussing, fighting, drinking beer. That wasn't him. If you hurt somebody's feelings and you walked out and God forgave you and you repented and all that, He didn't hold that against you. But guess what? That guy down at the bar, Mike, I suggest you may stay out of there. Don't go back down there no more. Because you've done it to play. But a lot of people holler, well, Lord brought this back, and that comes up later on, too, in this word. Amen. But God told him, so now it is time to leave. Amen. It's time to leave here. So he left the widow's house. And he went out as he was walking. As he was going along, he didn't know that there was a governor there in the house of Ahab. His name was Obadiah. I was telling you about it. And took care of the business there. He was a man that feared God greatly. And you know what? The fields, all the fields, the corn, everything they had was dried up. It was no good. The water becomes sparse. They couldn't find it. And you know what? He said, and it's how God works sometimes. He tells you to go, but He don't necessarily give you where to go. Just go and I'll direct you. You had that experience of your daughter was. And I don't forget things when God moves. That's why testimony you overcome with them. But look what happened. Get up and go, and at the same time, he was telling Ahab, oh, your horses is going to die. Your cattle and mules are going to dry up and starve to death for no grass. You need to go out. And he called God's man, Obadiah, the governor of his house, the one that took care of the business around there. The parties come in. But he was a righteous man. He feared God greatly. And Obadiah, he said, you go out here. If you see any green grass, search for water among the trees in the spring. He said, because our horses and our cattle are dying and our mules and donkeys, maybe we can save some of them. But he didn't know, and Obadiah didn't know, that he's sending him to meet Elijah. Well, Elijah was on his way. Oh, and he bumped into him. He said, oh my Lord. He looked at the prophet, he worshipped him, fell down. He said, that's you, Elijah? He said, that's me. That's me. What are you doing here? He said, the Lord told me I need to see Ahab. What? We've done searched all these places. You want me killed? We went back, we took an oath that we didn't see you anywhere. We didn't at that time. God had him hid. Couldn't find him.
Come on.
He said, you call me Troy. He said, you go tell him. Tell him to meet me. Oh, he went back and told him. He didn't do nothing to Obadiah. He was a child of God. He said, yeah, I'll meet with him. But when he got there, what did he say to him? He looked at Elijah and said, you caused me all kinds of trouble. Put it on him. You caused me all kinds of problems. Paraphrase. You caused me all kinds of problems. You and your God. Your ways have caused me all kinds of problems. You know what Elijah said to him? He said, listen, Ahab, you have belittled Jesus, defamed his name. You've gone against his commandments and his statutes. You caused your own problems. Don't blame it on me. That's exactly. Paraphrase, that's what it was. Read it. That's what it was. And he turned around. He said, but I'll tell you what. I find that there's a difference in people out here opinion for your God and my God. He said, I'll tell you what to do. He said, why don't you just go to your people and tell them. He said, we'll go on Mount Carmel, get them all together. We're going to find out who's God, who's the real God, and who's not. And he agreed to it. That sounded reasonable. And people just said, well, people went along with it. They wasn't agreeable. Because you know what? He had made all these here statues and all these gods out of wood and different things, that the one that they worshiped. You know, back then, see, the people, they used that in witchery and all those conniving things to trick the people.
Yeah.
See, it wasn't, the old king was all fooled and whatever, but he couldn't back up. See, back at that time, if you've got swords and spears, you had to have a billows somewhere to melt down steel to make those with. Okay, what does a billows do when you got to get back? It blows out a big fire of smoke if you got to come out of the right place. Well, it had to come out of the mouth of some of these gods, and the people didn't understand it back then. Technology back then, that wasn't something that's abundant to everybody. So they had a trick to generally build on the side of a mountain back in the hill. You remember when they threw the children over sacrifices? But it jumped back the hill, and they had men behind it. They'd roll it out. If you get out and start investigating and researching it, they had like wooden wheel, and they would roll it out, and it'd blow out smoke and fire, and then people thought were deceived because they was off like at a distance. They didn't trust it either. They was at a distance from it, and they used it to manipulate the people to get them to serve to do their will. No problem. That was their God. And it was against Jesus of Nazareth. They didn't want to do with it. And Elijah told him to call all the people there. He told him, he said, you told him, bring him here, we're going to build an altar. He said, this is what I want you to do. He said, I want you to get you 2 bullocks. I want you to bring them down, you go ahead and dress short. And you put them on that altar. So now you get you some wood, you lay it on there. But don't start a fire. Don't get it started. He said, we're going to let you in morning time. We're going to let you call on your God. Wow. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that pretty part where he mocked and laughed at him. I'm supposed to enjoy the part I like it there. I like it all, but that kind of sticks out. He said, go ahead. Oh, yeah, he got there and they started calling on Baal. Who was the old Baal? That was the daddy, Jezebel. He started calling on Baal. By the way, you know, he was so weak at Ahab, he made an altar of Baal in the house there where Ahab. He was that evil. But anyhow, he started calling on Baal. While they prayed, it went on up to, I think, around noontime. Elijah spoke up to the crowd. I think he had a loud voice. He probably had a megaphone, sometime made out of his hand. He looked out over the people there. See, there were 400 prophets there. 450 prophets of Baal was there. They was one man. That's actually how Elijah enticed him to do this deal. He said, come on up here. I'm just one man. If too embarrassing, you got 450 of them, and I'm just one man. They had slew most of them at that time. Elijah didn't even know where another was of God at that time. But he had him in there, see, and he didn't have any choice. But he kept calling on Bill and all the people. And at noontime it didn't work. They started jumping on the altar and cutting themselves, and blood all over them. This, that, and Elijah was looking around and said, "Oh, holler a little loud. Maybe your God is asleep." You know what? He may be on a trip somewhere. After adventure, he might be out here talking with somebody. He mocked him and scoffed him and laughed on him. Because guess what? His God had hit him twice. And I forgot a little bit of a part here. Reason Obadiah knowed him, he called to remember something. I'm getting ahead of myself. Obadiah actually got scared. And he said, "Wait a minute here, you're going to get me killed." But you know what Obadiah said? You brought back to remembrance here. It's important. He said, "You remember when I hit 100 of you, 50 at a time in the caves, and I give you water and bread?" He said, "Do you remember that?" But Elijah, I talk to people today. We doubt God. God's going to try to bring up my sin. Listen, that's exactly what Obadiah done as well. Obadiah looked around and said, "What? You bring up sins against me?" He said, "No." He said, "No, he ain't going to bother you. He ain't going to bother you. God sent me." But he thought it was his sin. God does not hold your sin. He forgave them. Common sense will tell you if he forgave them, he don't bring them up.
Amen.
You dig them up.
That's right.
Hey, man, you dig them up.
Amen.
Come on.
Hey, man.
Bless you, Lord.
Nobody put that case of beer in your back room. That was you.
Amen.
God didn't do it. What's wrong with people in Florida?
Amen.
But anyhow, they met on Mount Carmel. But Obadiah didn't get in any trouble. You read his book. He didn't get in any trouble. But anyhow, they met up on Mount Carmel. And he was scoffing and mocking. Elijah was. Where is your God? And it went come into the evening. When it come into the evening where the offering of the evening offering was up, Elijah looked at him and said, "Now, boys, all y'all gather around. It is my turn." All right. He started fixing the altar. You got to fix the altar. Let me tell you something. You got to dress this altar up, and you got to get it fixed. I told you the altar is in you. It's not man-made material. It is a living thing that is produced to the Holy Ghost of your knees. That you got a living altar wherever you at. Walmart, going after lettuce and onions and praying for a woman. That's what God does. But anyhow, he started getting the 12 stones, which represented the 12 tribes of the sons of Jacob, and he put them in order. 12 also the disciples. Then what did he tell them? He started getting the meat just right. He said and dressed it, and he put the wood on it. Oh, and he took and started digging a trench, and he dug a trench there, and I think he said barrel 4 times, barrel 3 times. 4 on 3 fours is 12. They were 4 barrels of water. Plus he put some on himself. He made sure everything was soaked in that trench. But one thing he put, what? 2 dry measures of wheat. Of seed, Bible said. Figure it was wheat. It was seed. Why did he do that? Well, wait a minute now. The 12 stones represent 12 tribes. 3 times 4 is 12 with the barrels of water they put on it. That's still 12. What was the seeds? And why he took 2, what was it when I looked it up? It was 2.5 bushel approximately of seeds that he poured in that trash. That he took and put water on. Poured, filled the olive with water and poured it all over everything. Then he started calling on his God. On his God. But why was that? What do you think that seed represented? Wonder why that seed stands out. Now you got the 12 stones. You got the 3 barrels of water. They took the 3rd time, or 4 barrels of water. They took 3 times. 1st time, 2nd time, 3rd time. 3 times 4, 12. Wonder why the seed had to mean something. You think it was a seed of evil that they destroyed there, that he poured water on, that Baal was trying to raise up? The old Baal started with him down to Jezebel. You think he said, you can put it on, this seed's not going to grow. You pour all water, we're going to pour water, but I'm going to grind it out. How am I going to do it? I'm going to destroy it with fire. And God brought down fire. Bible said it licked up all of it. It dried everything. He poured it all over everything. It dried up the sea. Everything was in a train. Even the dust was consumed. And we hear that Jesus is an all-consuming fire. He was there that day. He was telling the people today, if it's of the world, it's not of me, and I will consume you in a fire, and it's called hell. It still goes today. They still, all the people still praying for the sick in here. We're preaching God's word. Come in here, their liberty, their peace here. You do not have to live in Egypt in bondage. You can be set free. You don't have to have money. You just got to have a willing vessel that I can put a little oil in you. That I can rise you up and you can be changed from the man that you was. You're not a man till you know the love of Jesus. That first of all, I remember when I went back to my first love in time of discouragement. Oh, Lord moves up on me. And I remember when he purged me. He cleaned me out. He won't dwell. He didn't leave nothing there. When he bought me fully. But I think that seed, when they don't say that in the Bible, but think about it for me. Seed of unrighteousness was being sold there. It was being put out to the people through these false gods, vanity. Vanities in Ecclesiastes. Read about it. But it was vanity. People got to have something that they can see. That's the reason that a lot of people can't get the Holy Ghost because they want to see it. They can see the effects of it. You've seen it. You've seen it, but a lot of people can't see that. They have a blinded eye. But remember one thing when we pray for everybody. Remember one thing. Jesus said, many are called, but a few are chosen. Not everybody is chosen. These out here behind the pulpit that's going along you the other day, I thought about that. I can't keep my mouth shut back there. When I'm sitting in the pew and they get preaching a good word, I kind of get ahead of you sometimes. And I'm not trying to be mean or be somebody. When you hear the word spilled out, you want to help them spill it. You want to sling a little bit yourself. And it's hard to keep quiet. But I want to tell you, when God changes you, he changes everything. He don't buy 100% of anything. And just take 50% of it.
Amen.
He wants all of you.
Amen. And
he was telling him after, I'm going to destroy this seed. I'm going to destroy this seed. That's what he was. Planting the seed there. You know, think about the widow woman. Why, when the rain came, he said, at meal barrel and there's oil, going to be gone. Why is that? When it's been 3.5 years, that there's no rain, you know that soil is needing a drink so bad. And any seed that was dormant that time. Oh, think about the time we are now. We had a warm spell. Did anybody see the Easter flowers or the daffodils? They call them fly. Did you see them fly up anywhere? All around the house, all around there. All seasons. There's new seasons for God, everything. There's a season for everything. People don't realize that, but they are. There's seasons to live. There's a season to die. You know, they have fall and winter. We have growing season in this part of the country here. They even have a number for the heat that on your old almanac. It tells you different things, but they're seasons. Amen?
Amen.
They're seasons. But Jesus was telling them at this time, I am God. They believed him then when he destroyed all of it. But the seed in that water, in my opinion, this is what I get out of it. The seed of deceitfulness and of worship of paganism of Baal is now over. I'm going to stop it here in its tracks. I can destroy it. You can water it and cultivate the sinner all you want out here, but you can't make Christian out of it.
Amen.
Come on.
But God destroyed it. It couldn't go anywhere. It didn't get any place. Amen. It just didn't get there. Why? Because it wasn't of God. You can't turn your back on God. Boy, and Elijah trusted him, didn't he? Elijah didn't turn back and said, Lord, today you ain't sending anybody with me. I have to stay down that brook by myself. He didn't question God. He was God's prophet for a reason. He obeyed. We hear this all the time. Obedience is better than sacrifice, and that's true. But a lot of us ain't obedient. That's the reason we can't keep them in. No, don't say that, Brother Wayne. We can't keep them in the church house. Why they ain't obedient? Because they can't leave the world alone. If you drive up the road somewhere, they're where they should be. And after a while, you're still praying for them. You can't believe they went to my church. I'd say under my ministry, and under the pastor, the assistant pastor, and all the sisters' testimonies. They can't be up there. And we almost want to lie to ourselves sometimes. But he comes becomes obvious that somebody, some way, didn't get saved. They got up here and got a little bit of redness on their knees, and they may have murmured and cried 2 tears, but they didn't get purged. Amen. It's that simple anymore. You can't live like hell and say you're a Christian. It does not work. You're a difference maker, and you cannot be out here talking about hypocrisy, one thing in here, and say you're God, then be down Walmart in your Bermuda shorts doing something else. It don't work. See, people don't want to hear that.
Come on.
They don't want to hear. They're calloused to the world. They're calloused to the world.
Yes.
But anyhow, Elijah, after proving who God was, he told his servant, it hadn't rained. Well, I think he went to the top of the mountain. The Bible says he got down like a bull rush. Put his head between his legs. He started praying. He started lifting God up. Lord, we need the rain, and I'll cut this short. He kept sending his servant out, but he ended up on the 7th time. He said, what do you see now? He said, oh, I behold a cloud about as big as your hand. Oh, guess what Elijah knew? There's a gully washer coming. Oh, what did he tell Ahab? He said, you better get off this mountain, get in that chariot and go. And the anointing moved up on Elijah. He outrun him. He got to Jezreel before he did. He was moving on. When anointing amounts you, you can't sit still. But not only that, you know them prophets? I got ahead of myself again. Them prophets, 450 of them. Brought them down, said, you bring them down here. A little place called Keyshawn. Bring them down here. He slew every one of them. Killed every one of them.
Yes.
But you notice the 400 Jezebel. I'm going to stop here, but 400 Jezebel didn't get there. But he proved who God was. He girded up his loins. I can see him now in that old leather wrapped around him. But he was a getty, wasn't he? Them church had horses there. The anointing was upon me. There's nothing impossible with Jesus. But you know what makes it possible is keeping in his statutes. It is called knee service. It is called pushing back the plate. If you love your brother, if you love your sister, when somebody calls you in the middle of the night, get off a bonanza and roll out the forks and go, forgive me first. But there's somebody in need. Don't be ashamed of God. And that's what's happened to us this day and time.
Amen.
The world has took over. Modern convenience has took over. We don't make time for God no more. Used to, they had them in the schools. They went to Sunday schools. The old people years ago, you know what? If they had a boyfriend, they went to the house of God. That's where they met him at. The girlfriend, for the most part. I'm not saying every 100%. Somebody go out and twist it around. But 99.9% of them did at that time. It wasn't down to the theater down there somewhere with nobody guarding and watching them. And before you know it, there's a baby bump. He told on you. Now they ain't got it. Why am I getting into this? But the Lord does. And He's helped me with it. Oh, we done away with what? What has killed this country?
Come on, brother.
What's the program that gives all the abortions?
Come on, preacher.
Planned Parenthood has burnt this country.
Amen.
They turned their daughters into prostitutes.
Amen. Come on, preacher.
And their young men into whoremongers. Come on, people.
Come on, preacher.
Come on, it's still happening today, more so than ever.
Amen.
Happening today.
More than ever.
A lot of pastors sitting around don't know where Johnny and Billy and Mary Lou's at.
Come on.
They be out anywhere. Why? Because the world don't care. Come in and pay their tithes. Guess what? They bought their religion.
You're all right.
The reward ain't going to be much, is it? If you bought it, you ain't going to get nothing. Oh, no. There's nothing bad, no money back, are there? Oh, a place called hell. But I got to thinking about that today. How we fell back so far. Back then, years ago, you know what? It was a shame if you got pregnant out of wedlock.
Come on.
Hear me now. Hear me now. Out of wedlock, even if you wasn't a Christian, it was a shame. They were people that looked down on you over that. Because that was a terrible thing. And now, even in school, it started years ago, they started giving out birth controls where they could prostitute their daughter, and the bump didn't tell on them no more.
Amen.
Tell me, half of them preachers.
Come on, preacher. Come on.
Half of them preachers want to meet to this day. That's how the devils took over this country.
Amen.
And treating abortions, they killed prophets. Didn't grow up, they was killed in the womb. Murder's murder.
Amen.
Amen. And that's what they're doing today to get by with it. And they stand up here in a big suit and tell you, oh, how they love Jesus. Yes, it's coming. And oh, how you lie.
Amen.
You didn't follow his commandments and his statutes. You didn't even have good morals. And back 10 years ago, you knew. And I even felt sorry for some of the women folk and the young girls that ended up with that bump because they didn't realize and they took chances and they threw the reproach on mom and dad, even though they were sinner people. But it happens in Christians too.
Yes.
But when you start passing out birth control in the schools and not tell the parents, you're the best birth control, boy, should you say this is not appropriate?
Come on.
Keep your gals off your back.
Come on.
Your road. Come on, that's the best birth control you ever had. Amen? They want to keep birth control. I don't know how else to say it nice.
Come on,
preach. It will stand. See, that's the reason I don't preach everywhere. Because I'm going to get to this. And in closing here, you're going to be, they've calloused. When you say, come ye out from the world, they're callous to that term. It said so much, but you got to tell them what the world is. You got to say, Miss, down you swing yours and you swing mine. It's that hard liquor that you sneak and drink every now and then. Amen? It's all these things that's in the world, but you got to tell them exactly. And they don't want to hear it. And they don't want to hear you sitting back there. They never read. But the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life, when they're sitting back there, like Franklin Graham's wife, her glory was cut off from to here, had a white eyeshadow around to there, had big earrings hanging down, and he's my pastor. Helen didn't remember the other night, and I got on to her. I said, I'm going to tell you something. Remember what I said, because it bothered me so bad. I said, he is not my pastor. And Helen looked at me, she said, your pastor is Janice Creek. But she forgot, like they got all confused. But that's what I said. I said, my pastor, Janice Creek, my pastor wife don't look like that. Amen.
Amen.
If you're going in here looking pretty and all dialed up, yeah, I can't help but getting on it. That's needed more than anything.
Yeah, man.
You get up there. You know, and most of a lot of them speak in tongues. Oh, God, you didn't say that. Yes, they do. They do.
Come on.
See, that's the reason we get such a reproach at homes. That's them most tongue speakers. Because why? They catch them down to the ball games down there, different ones, when they're all sin. Sinner people's not dumb. See, they're not. They know what sin is. They live in it every day. I mean, you can't wade in mud without realizing it's mud. It ain't concrete. You know, they know. And they're going to point you out.
Amen.
Be sure your sin will find you out. You'll be in your secret place somewhere smoking your little cigarette, and there'll be a John Doe somewhere telling you sooner or later. It's going to come back to the pastor, the sister, or the sister sits in the back. Be sure you are in trouble. So here is it consecrated, a clean, a holy life. You can't make it with junk hanging all over you, weighted down by the world. You can't drag yourself to church. That's what it is. So much world hanging on people that can't get in church out. They gain 400 pounds in the world. Dragging along in the hall. Oh, how I love Jesus. Yeah, oh, how you lied. You're going to stand before him and give account of the deeds you've done in this body.
Amen.
Yes. No, I'm not talking about the flesh. He forgave you that. But the sins you committed. Were they mistakes or were they willfully sin?
Come on.
Amen. Elijah was a man of God.
Come on.
He didn't believe in multiple choice. There's no second chances in this.
Amen.
You got to get right first time.
What he commands you. Amen.
You can't go everywhere preach gospel. Some of them you can't go preach. Why? Some of them like to wear their pants dye their hair. But they speak in tongues like we do.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Brother Mark, you didn't leave here now. You start to pick on churches.
Preach.
Know who you
Preach.
are in Jesus.
Amen.
No, yeah. Not everything shakes and rattles robes of God.
Amen.
Come on now. Not everything's cupcakes and ice cream.
Come on.
Oh, Lord, don't mind for one day. My job, well, I have to wear my pants to my job. Oh, you do? I didn't see in the Bible, the Lord said you had to do that. He said he supplied your needs, didn't he? This day and time is burnt their country. We got the women working and the guys sitting at the house. They got everything backwards anymore. The guys got to leave, they won't work, the women have to work.
Come on.
Oh, ain't that shameful anymore?
Amen.
Oh, we ain't got many men. No wonder we're so weak in all these countries looking at it. We got homosexuals and transgenders in the army going to fight for us.
Come on.
That's right.
Boy, I want real men.
Come on, preach it.
I don't want none of this junk around here. I want want real men. What's going on? We got a president that don't want it. Transgender, $150,000 per operation. They enlist in the army to get that surgery done. Immigrants coming across that's already pregnant come over here to get abortion. And I just found out that we're supplying abortion money in Italy and other countries. We're killing babies all over the world.
Come on.
Come on.
Pay for it.
Boy, are we living in it now. And why do you preach one year? Why do you preach as strong as you do? There's no time to be lackadaisical. There's no time to slack and play off on God. In the time you need to get on fire. If you don't have a personal service with God, you better get one.
Amen.
Amen. That's your words at in your car. I can't make turns. It's not of me sometimes. I miss a lot of turns. Not for forgetfulness. Because I get talking to Jesus and preaching in my mind. And I get thinking about the saints over here. And the preaching my mind past my turns.
Amen.
Helen said, you're supposed to hit Brothers Creek. I said, it's all right, I'll take drift. I've done that. More than once. Have them all. More than once, but because of Jesus. And I didn't mind it. Because he said, have a mind in you that was also in Christ Jesus. There's no room up there. You ever sit around idle, this, that, and there, and think I'll rest? Let me tell you what happened to me this past week. Got to testify a little bit, and I'm going to try to quit. I know I've been saying that, but hang with me. Sometimes the Lord just loads you up.
It's all right.
It's been a while for me. But anyhow, this week I've been getting forgetful on certain things. I've been going back through the Bible and trying to pick them up in certain stories. You're forgetful, get forgetful. And the devil put in my mind, you're getting off with gifts you shouldn't preach. Somebody's going to call you down, you've misplaced a name or whatever. You need to go tell the pastor. Now listen to this. And I started tearing up and I started crying and I started praying about it. The old said, she don't even know this. Other than I said, I'm getting forgetful because I don't want to mislead anybody. Everybody straight. And the devil said, well, you ought to tell. Now listen to this. This actually happened to me this past week. You need to tell them, well, you just don't want to preach no more because you're preaching mistakes. No, I listened to him. And when he got done, I rebuked him.
Amen.
I started saying that little song, I sang, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And it fled from me. And I know why he said that. Because you have learned now, Brother Marcum preaches the truth. I preach it plain, but I live by it. Come and stay with me a while. Live with me, whatever. I don't have great comforts, but I love Jesus. The old guitars will sing it out. When I'm dead and gone, it'd be something to walk in the house over there. The banjo might be playing these songs or whatever, but it's all about God. It's nothing about me. And when I'm out of church, I miss the church family because I'm not at home in the world no more. I left that place. It's behind me and buried, and I'm not picking it up no more.
Amen.
I love Jesus. I love the life. I have liberty. I have peace. I don't have to worry about it.
Bless you,
When the
Lord.
electric bill can't be paid, I just don't go to church that night. But I don't lose my religion. I don't lose God over it. When things come my way, He didn't say it'd all be juicy. There are people. He said it rains on the just and the unjust. There are millionaires and regular devil worshippers out here. Live scrumptiously according to the man that Lazarus, he lived that way. But you've got to live within your means. You've got to live the best you can. But you know what? I have what they ain't got. Come on.
Bless you,
They can't buy what I ain't got.
That's right.
It's Jesus. Freedom and liberty. I don't pay no attention to them. I lay them up and I say, well, they'll get paid one way or the other. And they do. I don't worry about credit ratings.
Bless you.
Amen. I worry about the statutes. I worry about the commandments. Are you praying hard? Like the song goes, are you hardly praying?
Come on.
Amen.
Amen.
Bless y'all. Thank you for listening.
Amen. Hallelujah.